Hi everyone, Lorna here. We're going to do a really gentle practice today, slow practice. I call it Yangster Yin just because normally I've thrown a couple of more activated poses where you need to use your muscles in a more yang way. Today we're going to do quite a bit of movement to begin. And then we'll get into some yin poses, and they're going to be slightly shorter holds today. So as I can't see you, I'm going to be doing my practice, and feel free to join in with me. Please take care of your own bodies. If you're joining in with me, just really go easy, go slow, back off if anything doesn't feel good. And the main thing is to really notice your breath throughout the whole practice. I'd like to just introduce a few concepts that I'm working with today. We're going to be getting quite a bit into our fascial area of the side body, the connections between our pelvis and our feet, and then also into our rib cage and our necks a little bit. Another way to look at it is to see these beautiful connection lines that we have from our legs, that bind our legs onto our torso. These are from Anatomy Trains, which traces the fascial system in the body. The other concept is that I'm inspired by today is tomorrow's Earth Day, and it's always one of my favorite days to celebrate. And right now at this time, we're so fortunate right now with spring in the air. Even though we are self-isolating, we can only be inspired by all the beauty that is around us. So I'm going to read you a poem to begin. Hey Patty, I'm going to read you a poem to begin by our wonderful local Ingrid Pincott. Hey Dana, woohoo! So I'm going to read you a poem, and then we're going to stand up and do some movement. I'm just going to turn off my heater. I had to cozy up. I wanted to do this outside today, but it was really chilly an hour ago, so I brought the camera indoors. I'm going to read to you. So this poem is called All Is Well, and it's by Ingrid Pincott. All is well. You remind me to look for the sacred in everything, to breathe in the silence like air, to penetrate the horizon looking for miracles, to allow my heart to swell with joy at the sounds of breathing all around me. The clouds show an angel taking flight into the fiery colors of the sunset, and the crackling of the fire and the symphony of frogs, the fading night calls of the seabirds, the deep hum of ships going by in the night, and the bowl of stars dancing above me. All of these remind me that all is well in my world. All things are in their perfect place. Thank you for reminding me. Isn't that gorgeous? So from here, please bring yourselves, okay, it looks like my battery's dying over here. If you could please bring yourselves to standing. We might run out of music. Our battery is dying. And just plant your feet nice and firmly on the earth. Let your feet quite wide apart, just comfortably. Just pick up your toes for a moment. Exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. So Almost as if you're on a really soft trampoline. Breathe in slow motion. Open your heart to the sky. Exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay. Let's breathe in all the way up. Touch the sky. Exhale, push down to the earth. Celebrate the sky. Exhale back to the earth. One more like this. Open your heart to the sky. Exhale everything back down to the earth. Flip your hands, this time as if you're drawing up water. I'm going to turn my toes slightly in here. As you exhale, slide and glide your shoulder blades back and down your body. Let your body roll forward. Let your head drop. Draw the hands up, draw the belly to the spine. As if you're pouring water over you. Exhale. Exhale. Allow your body to move the way it wants to here. Let's do two more, one more after this. Exhale. Now meet me up here in the middle. Breathe in, take your feet a little wider. As you exhale, give yourself a hug. Breathe in and breathe out. Now we're going to breathe in. Just take your left arm across to the right. Dig your toes in. Breathe and glide your shoulder blades back again. Now breathe out. Send your belly to your spine. As you breathe in, draw your shoulder blades back. As you exhale, bring your belly to your spine. One more. Send all that energy around to the other side. Dig in your back foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. As you come to the middle, this time have a nice deep squat. We're going to do 2 breaths on the side, breathing in. Coming through center. Breathe into your back body here. Really let your intercostals work. Through the center, nice and wide. Last time, one breath. Breathe in all that beauty. Exhale anxiety, exhale fear. Breathe in beauty. Breathe out the unknown. Bring your hands to the heart center. How are your legs doing? Woo. Turn the toes forward. And then bring your hands down onto the mat. Those of you who know what a square dog is, kind of get your feet and hands as wide as each other and as far apart. You kind of squared up. Bend, send your sitting bones down. Lift the heart up. As you exhale, send the hands to the floor and the tailbone to the sky. Bend the knees and the heart up. Exhale. Breathing in, lift the heart up, drop the sitting bones down, even further if you can. Exhale. This time, bring the knees forward, hover them just an inch off the floor. Lift the belly, lift the heart, and then send your sitting bones back to the sky. Shake your head out and enjoy this easy down dog, square dog feel. You may want to bend one leg and then the other to lengthen out the back of the legs. Feel free. Let's take 3 full breaths together here. Into the back body, breathing into the back body. And then slowly coming forward, lifting the belly up, bringing the knees down. To child's pose. Draw the belly to the spine, lengthen the fingers forward, and sitting your sitting bones down towards your heels and your forehead down to the mat. As you're breathing here, if you could really sense into the back part of your body, the back apparatus of your body, breathing. So you're aware of how all the intercostals in between your ribs are moving with your breath, expanding on the inhale and softening on the exhale. And then if you could, on your next inhale, walk your hands to the right. Let's begin to find that side body that we're going to work with today. If you want a little more, you could walk your maybe tuck the toes under or leave the feet flat if you have the capacity to push up from there. Let's hold this one for 3 breaths, wherever you're at. And slowly coming down. And ending, we're going to just sit and do a little bit of pranayama before we start our yin practice. You can stay in hero's pose, or you could bring a pillow and come into sitting. And with perfect timing, my music has run out due to my battery going flat. I forgot to plug my laptop in. We're going to do a very simple pranayama today and thought practice. It's one of my most favorites by Thich Nhat Hanh in celebration of Earth Day tomorrow. It is called Flower Fresh. And all you have to do is seat yourself comfortably, and it doesn't matter what that looks like. If you're tired, you can also lie down right now. You don't have to be sitting. Let's take a deep, beautiful breath in, and a deep, beautiful breath out. Taking a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more time, breathing in through the nose. And as you breathe out through your mouth, arriving in your space, on your mat, and in your body. And connecting yourself like a flower to the earth. And then if you could, if it's possible, to breathe in and out through the nose now. And noticing as you breathe in how your ribs swell outwards, and see if you can explore all areas of your lungs. Your lungs start about here underneath your collarbones. They come right down to here, just before your ribs. And they hug and massage your heart. And they not only in the front and sides of the body, but they are protected and moved particularly by all the muscles in the back. Let's do 3 breaths here. Just noticing breath in the body, keeping the spine, if you're sitting, keeping your spine beautifully long and elongated. Like a flower rooted into the earth with your petals reaching upwards to the sky and the sun. As you're breathing in, you can say to yourself, I am breathing in, I am a beautiful flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in, I am a beautiful flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in as a flower, that you feel all the components of the sun, water, nutrients of the soil that make you up. And as you exhale, feeling that beautiful freshness and vibrancy that a flower offers in the morning dew. And let us take one more full deep breath together. Exhaling. And if you have a vision of a beautiful flower in your mind, hold it now. And then slowly open your eyes, breathing in, giving me, even though I can't see you, your most beautiful flower, fresh face. And exhale. We are going to, now from here, let me see how we're doing. Time. I'm in real trouble here. I don't have my timer on either. We are going to begin with our yin practice. We're going to bring our feet in front of us and come into long-legged butterfly. So the soles of your feet are together and your knees are apart. If your knees are up here and this feels a little bit stressful, feel free to put a bolster or pillows underneath your knees. You can do something like this if you want. And then possibly even more important than supporting your knees is to have that sensation that when you're sitting, that you can sit easily like this. If you need a bit more support underneath you to help your spine stay upright, sit yourself on a cushion. And in yin, we're going to come in a rounded way. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of extra support today, you can always hug a pillow. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest and allow your body to begin to round down towards your feet. If you have lower back issues, or if you didn't know that your back was a little bit out of sorts today, keep the chest up and simply hinge forward until you feel your first edge. So whether you round it down or whether you're hinging forward, come to the first place where your body naturally stops. And take a full breath. And then from here, if you are staying in an elongated position, you could bring your chin onto your hands or your forehead. If your head is down for a little bit more sensation, you could allow your arms to start to slide forward and take yourself into a place where you can still breathe with ease. You can still experience a full flower fresh inhale and a full flower fresh exhale. Experiencing your breath in your back body. Now, if you're feeling any sharp shooting pain, tingling, numbness in one of your legs, I know a lot of you have told me you have a little bit of sciatic or nerve pain going on at the moment. Just extend the leg that's giving you that trouble and come down over the other leg. Or the other thing you could do is simply lie back, leave the legs where they are, and take the bolster out from underneath you and just work with the inner thighs rather than with the spine. Work with opening up and allowing the opening to happen here. Please breathe easily here. Again, experiencing the opening, expanding of the rib cage and the softening of the rib cage. I'm going to be minding the time, and we have about 10 more full deep breaths left here. 2 more breaths here. And bringing your hands down underneath you to support you. Slowly, slowly, slowly releasing that. And rolling the shoulders back. Bringing the hands behind you, stretching your legs out. Sometimes you would like to just lie down and do nothing. Sometimes it's quite nice to bring a little bit of movement in. So just making your choice right now, and give yourself about 5 breaths here to do whatever feels right for you. And then from here, bringing yourself back up. And we're going to come into some pose called dragonfly. We're going to be coming forward first, and then we're going to be turning sideways and coming into the side body. So to begin, I'm going to bring my right leg towards my left leg, bending at the knee. And as I sit down now, I want to feel once again that I can feel both my sitting bones on the mat. And then the same principles apply. If you've got lower back issues, if you strained your back in any way, rather come in, use a couple of pillows, and rather come in as a hinge. So you can even take your shoulders back and hinge the body forward, and then stay where you feel something. You want to feel that edge. In the end, we don't flex to the foot. We soften it. Then you could support, if you're protecting your back, you could come into a pose like this, or like this. Those of you that have no issues with your lower back, you could round down and allow the body to soften here. I sometimes, as my body evolves and gets lower down, I support my legs so that I can come into a different alignment or a straight alignment here. So the first principle is to come to your first edge. The second principle is to find stillness. And the third principle is to stay for time. So coming in, softening and letting go of all muscle contraction, all muscle work, including the neck. And if your neck doesn't like dangling, please support it. And then just finding your breath and taking an inward journey and experiencing and noticing, what do you feel in this pose. We'll be here for a little shorter than the first pose. There are 2 or 3 reasons to move in yin. The first being if you experience pain, sharp shooting pain, tingling, numbness, anything that doesn't make you feel comfortable, please move out of the posture. Here you could move back a little bit more, and if you're still experiencing that sensation, move out completely. If your breathing becomes a little edgy and you feel you've pushed yourself too far, edge out a little bit. Or if your body invites you to go deeper, you would move in a little bit deeper, whatever that means for you. Again, taking the breath experience, if you can, into the back of the body, noticing when you breathe, where do you feel the breath in your back body? There's no right or wrong, but maybe you feeling more sensation in the hips. So just notice, where do you feel sensation right now? And coming in for 3 more full breaths. And then very slowly bringing your hands down, walking your body back up. Roll your shoulders back and just bring yourself into a little more of an open dragonfly, whatever that means for you. For this one, if you haven't come sideways before, especially if you've got stuff going on your back, Mandy, I see you here all the way from South Africa. Mandy rides horses, so sometimes her back gets really tight. So go into this kind of movement quite gently. You can support yourself here by putting your elbow onto a pillow. You can also, for those of you that have got no issues going on, you could just bring your hand or elbow straight onto your leg. And then once you've taken 2 or 3 breaths here, notice where you feel the sensation. We're opening up the lateral side of the body here. You can even rub where you feel the sensation. Also right now, before we get in too deep, notice if you roll slightly forward, do you feel differently to when you slightly rotate the chest and open up? Where do you feel the connections and which area feels it's more needed right now? Those of you that have great flexibility, you can keep going deeper. And then everyone, if you would like to try and just drape your right arm over. If that's too much for you, feel free to leave your hand back where it was, or you can turn your palm backwards, roll your shoulder, and drop and drape the arm behind you. And this will open your neck up. I'm now dropping my right hip down. My head is dropping into my hand deeper, and my neck is opening up here. It's a different sensation. Otherwise, I would leave my arm over my head. And this doesn't always look pretty, but we're all about feeling and experiencing the sensations. It's not about what it looks like on the outside. It's about what we feel on the inside. And when you find places that are a little tight, a little bit sticky, send your flower, fresh breath into those places. It's simply fascial, connective tissue, extracellular matrix. It needs a little bit of oxygen, a little bit of hydration. A little bit of nourishment. And your other job here, your other work, inner work, is to let go, to release, to see how much you can release. Can you let go with every exhale? Anything you're holding on to, whether it's emotional, physical. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then if your arm is behind you, just release it. Take your right arm up to the sky. Bring yourself all the way up. And let's counterpose that. Swing your left arm through. Put your right hand down. And lift yourself up a little bit. Bit of yang work here. And let's do 2 more of those. So bring yourself all the way forward. Inhale, take the right hand back, swing the left arm through and up. Squeeze the glutes, lift the body up. And this time we're going to do the same thing. And then bring your left arm up, bring your whole torso up. I'm going to come back into the frame of it. We're going to move into Parigasana. And I think I'm going to demo this way here for you. I'm going to try to keep my hip above my knee. my left foot is going to be flexed forward. And we're going to bend, or essentially we're going to hinge from our hips over towards the right to bring our right hand to the floor. We're also going to try to open up the hip flexors, send them forward, so engaging my glutes to achieve that. So very slowly, I'm starting on my fingertips and then slowly bringing my hand down. Take the left arm to the sky. Take a full breath. Squeeze those glutes. And then if you can, bring the left fingertips all the way over to the right. You're going to take 5 full breaths here. Try to engage your glutes for this full time. On the next inhale, use your left arm to bring you all the way up. Take a moment. And then we'll take our right arm over, still keeping the left toes pointing forward and coming all the way over. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale, coming up. And then from here, we'll just bring our knees around. We're going to do a little symmetrical movement to release the back before we go at the other side. So lengthen your neck out, drop your head down, hug your knees into your chest. If you want to get a little deeper, sweep your hands behind the knees, exhale. Breathing in, fill the body with breath. Exhale. One more time. Exhale. Now send your feet towards the sky. Bring the knees towards the armpits. Reach up to hold either the outsides or the insides of your feet. And draw your knees down towards your armpits, leaving your back body on the mat. Those of you that find this super easy, you could play with stretching out the back of the legs if that's more of a challenge for you. And let's take another 3 full breaths. So you're trying to draw your toes down towards the floor. Then bringing the feet back. Bending the knees, hug your knees, bring your chin to your chest, and let's roll up to do the other side. So this time, Bruce Thompson, oh my goodness, I can't believe, and Leanne Sheris, hi, I can't believe you guys are here, that's incredible. Bruce is also from South Africa. We are mates from school. So, let's bend our left knee this time, right leg is straight. This side might be way different to the first side, so you might need a bit of support. We're going to be coming forward first and then going sideways. So again, if you have lower back issues, roll the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall, hinging forward, and coming forward here. For those of you that would like to protect the lower back a bit, you could support the chin. If you are coming down, rounding down, just allowing the body to come forward. Finding that first edge. Taking a few breaths. And then finding stillness. And then your reasons to move are if your body is finding that it's not breathing easily, that you're not finding that beautiful experience of breathing, noticing the ribcage moving with each breath, or if you find that you're getting any sharp shooting pain, tingling or numbness, move out completely. And then the third reason to move is if your body invites you to go deeper. You're trying to let go of all muscle connection, all muscle engagement. We're trying to just get ourselves right into the extracellular matrix. This accesses our joints, at the back of our knees, the ankles, the hips, and in between each vertebra, particularly in this pose. Take 2 more full deep breaths here. And then very, very slowly bringing yourself up. Take it really easy. Roll the shoulders back. And then turning yourself sideways so that you have an open, we call this dragonfly, so it will be a sideways dragonfly. And once again, coming over sideways, it's always amazing to me how as we come into our side body, so I keep checking our clock so that I try to keep us evenly rotisserried. We are coming sideways. Often we don't use our side bodies until we need them. So you may want to bring your head onto your hand here. And before we go into too much depth, pardon me, perhaps roll the body a little bit forward or a little bit back. And just experience where you're needing a bit more attention today. So once you've found that place, those of you that this is an easy practice for you, feel free to glide your elbow down your leg, maybe bring it to the inside of your leg, and then begin to take the arm over, either to hold your head or maybe you can even hold your feet. Otherwise, either leaving your left hand down on your left hip, and even try that for a few breaths. See if you can let the left hip drop into the mat. If you notice that it's riding up, just let it drop. You can even put your left hand down on your left leg to add some weight. And that in itself might be a great sensation for the side body. There's a couple of other options. You could take your arm up to the sky, drop it over your head, take a few breaths and see how that feels. Or you could take this hand and wrap it around and behind you to open up through the shoulder, and you will still feel sensation possibly through the side body. So just making your choice right now. And if you find your body opens up quite easily, just start allowing it to jello towards the floor. And enjoy the sensations. For the South Africans, it sounds, we have wooden houses here. It's my son that's there. See if you can breathe in a little deeper. Let's take 3 more full breaths together. And then from wherever your arm is, reach your left arm up to the sky to help bring you up. Use your right arm if you need to. Bring the left hand down behind you. Slowly, slowly swing your right arm through. Put down your right foot and maybe press your pelvis up. We're going to do this 2 more times. If you don't feel like this is a good idea, don't do it. And this time we'll hold for 3 breaths. And then use your right arm to bring you all the way up. We'll come back into that Parigasana on this side. So your right foot's going to be turned forward. You want your ankle and hip in one line. My knee is right underneath my left hip bone here. Open up, find your vertical space, and then coming over towards the left, bringing maybe the fingertips down, maybe your hand can go flat right away. Your fingertips can be turned out or inwards, whatever's most comfortable to you. Now send the glutes towards each other to open up the front hip flexors here. And then perhaps you can take the right arm all the way over. I think we held this for 5 minutes, 5 breaths. Keep engaging the glutes the whole time. Activate the glutes here. Reach to the fingertips. Root through the outside edge of the right foot. Reach to the fingertips a little deeper. Open up that side body. Explore. 2 more breaths. On the next inhale, bringing yourself up. And then bringing the left arm over, 3 breaths. Exhale, come through neutral. And this time we're going to come all the way onto our bellies. I'm going to grab just a sip of water. Bring yourself down onto your belly and put one hand underneath each other. And then you can simply rest your forehead down onto your hands and bring your breathing back to a nice, steady breath. We've been doing quite a lot of forward bending, and we're now going to come into a little bit more backward bending. Once again, just really making this quite subtle and trying to notice as much as you can. So the first shape we're going to create is Sphinx pose. Maybe just to begin, bring your chin onto your hands and notice if when your feet are together, how does this part of your back feel, this arch of your back? And then if you take your feet further apart, how does your arch feel in your back? And know that at any time you can come back down and adjust your legs. So some people feel more comfortable with their legs close together, and some people find their legs being apart is more comfortable in their lower back. If you find already there's a lot of sensation in your lower back, stay right here. You could have your head down. Otherwise, bringing your elbows underneath you. Your hands can be flat. This is classical Sphinx. Or your palms could be together. Your neck could be an extension of your spine. Or you could drop your chin down onto your hands once again. Especially when you start these practices, your head feels exceedingly heavy. And take a deep, full breath in, a deep, full breath out. And then those of you that feel your pelvis and pubic bone have dropped into the mat, that your pelvis has a nice weight, you're not feeling very much, feel free to bend at the knees and come into a slightly deeper form or shape of this pose. And we'll find stillness. We're going to not hold this as long as we classically do. We're just going to settle in here. So this is one of the yin practices or poses that I found is a great one to talk about. And here is Radius, my shadow. We are targeting our lower back here. Though you might, if your legs are up and your back doesn't have much sensation, you might be feeling it more in your quads. But why we are stressing these connections in our body is, as soon as our nervous system senses there's some stress somewhere, it sends in oxygen, sends in awareness, and with that there's nutrients rushing to those areas. So lubricating, as we get a little older, we have a little less cushioning between each vertebrae. So I find this is a really great pose to do to keep my spine well oiled. Let's take one more full breath here. Exhale. If you found that this was quite edgy for you, that this pose was quite intense, feel free to come right back to the same pose. Lowering your legs down if you have your legs up. Bringing yourself down. And then sliding your hands out to the side, pointing your fingers out. This is called seal pose. If your hands are further in front of you and wider apart, there will be less sensation in the lower back. If your hands are closer to your body and closer inwards, you will experience more sensation. With this pose, you want to lock your elbows as such so that you can simply hold the body up. Once again, allowing the pelvis to fall heavily into the mat. Now, notice this one. If you're, if you've got issues in the back, try this really gently. And if you want more sensation, then simply lying down with your head underneath you. You could bring a couple of pillows under you to bring you up. And then let your head go over the edge. And breathe into it this way. And again, those of you that find this easy to do, and you're finding that your body would like to go deeper, feel free to play with bending the knees. So as soon as I do that, my pelvis comes off the floor, and I want to really target getting into my hip connections. So I'm going to leave my legs down for this one. You can also drop your head back if it feels good to you, or drop it forward. You could also do a couple of little neck releases here if you wanted to. And let's just find stillness. One more minute. The other area that I find that seal pose works for me is it opens up the connective tissue in my front of my body, between my hips and my rib cage. Feels as if I'm getting a little sensation through the obliques or psoas muscles. Wouldn't be in the muscle itself, but in the connective tissue between those areas. Come in for 3 more full breaths. Drop the chin to the chest, slowly, very slowly, allowing yourself to come down. And we're going to actually bend our knees here. Send our sitting bones to the sky. And instead of targeting the lower back now, we're going to let our body come down to a puppy dog pose. Ideally, you would like your hips to be right above your knees and your chest to come down towards the mat. Those of you that have open shoulders, this is called heart opening or anahata sana or heart opening pose. Those of you that can drop your chest all the way down, your forehead can be down or your chin can be up. And what is quite a nice way to do this is to extend the right arm forward and the left arm bent and take 10 full breaths and then change to the other side. Those of you that have shoulder issues, simply keep your both elbows bent. Your knees can be a little further apart or closer together. And I'm going to be right back. I'm going to plug in so we can have some more music. Just finding your breath here. And if you find this pose is just not working for you, try putting a few pillows underneath you again. But having your sitting bones to the sky so that it's the upper body that's getting the targeting. Otherwise, just come to lie on your belly completely. Beautiful, easy breathing. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And after your 3rd breath, simply rolling yourself all the way down onto your belly. And for those of you that, well, let's all do this right now. Just coming to relaxation, bend the knees and just drop the legs side to side. I greatly appreciate feedback from people here after this class, especially as I know some of you have got issues in your back. love to open a discussion here about how you felt during the practice and how you felt after the practice. From here, bring your hands underneath you, and we're going to bring ourselves all the way up. And just briefly here, before we go into some twists to begin cooling down, I'm going to offer you two options here. Those of you that can sit comfortably between your feet, we can come into one more back bend. This is called the hero or saddle pose, actually, in Yin. You can put a couple of pillows behind you. So you could sit like this. If this is too much and you want to come into this pose, you could put a pillow underneath you or 3 pillows underneath you to come into this pose. It stretches out the quads. Those of you that find it easy to go in here, simply lean back and begin lying back down onto the mat. Those of you that would like to stretch out your quads, you could bring your elbows down, take it as far as you can without coming into that kind of breathing. Come to a place where you can still breathe deeply and easily and enjoy the sensation. Those of you that do not want to do this due to back issues or knee issues, I'm going to suggest that you bring a bolster underneath your pelvis, and you can either have your knees bent or slightly to at an angle. All I'm doing is softening my chest, and if you want, you can leave your knees bent, or you can straighten your legs out. This is opening up the hip flexors here, front of the body. Those of you that are well into saddle, and you're finding that you're getting a sharp sensation in the lower back, feel free to lift the pelvis, tilt the pelvis, and resettle. And that will, especially those of you that have the flexibility today, different every day, to go down, you can tilt the pelvis and see if you can find a different kind of sensation. You could also work towards drawing the knees closer together. That's more of a challenge for you, but without using any muscle work. Take 3 more deep breaths here. If you're coming out of saddle, bring your hands down and slowly bring yourself up. If you are lying on your back with a pillow or bolster underneath you, simply bend your knees, lift the pelvis up, remove the pillow or the bolster, stretch the body out. Those of you that have come from saddle, slowly make your way back down onto your back here. And you may feel that you need to hug your knees into your chest, or you may feel you need to stretch out. Give yourself a good 5 breaths to do whatever you need to do right now. And then from here we're going to take ourselves into a little twist to finish our practice off today. So to begin, I think perhaps you'll be able to see me better this way. Bring your right knee into your chest. Draw the left knee up and into your chest. Notice how your back feels. We've put quite a lot of work into here today. Take your arms out right and left, and then just rock the knees side to side, and then the next time your knees are coming to the left, leave the right shoulder on the floor and drop your knees over to the left side. Now notice here that you can, well, you could actually put a pillow underneath your knees so that they can let go. The higher your knees are, the higher the twist will be in the spine. The lower the knees are, you'll feel the twist maybe more in the hips. And let's settle in here. We're going to do a minute in each place. So just settle in here. Roll your head to the right and to the left. And notice where your neck feels most needed. And if you would like to open up through your arm lines a bit, bend the right elbow and slide the hand up to create a little bit more of an opening through the arm lines. Now, straighten, leave the top right knee bent, hold on to it with your left hand, straighten the left leg, snuggle it underneath you. I'm kind of wiggling my left hip underneath me, and find that right shoulder on the mat again. Draw that knee towards the floor. You can let your left hand rest heavily here. And again, the different angle of your knee will change how you feel this twist. We're not looking for pain. We're just looking for a deep, dull stretch. You could hook your toes over your left leg if you find that helpful. And then from here we are going to extend our right leg out. And those of you that can hold on to your right leg with your left hand, go ahead. If you can't reach there, that's fine. Just extend your leg. Maybe bring a pillow or something underneath it, and then let go. I don't know if I've emphasized that enough today. In Yin, we let go. It's kind of like Maria Kondo spring cleaning. You just let it all go. It doesn't matter if it doesn't, from the outside, what it looks like. You're experiencing your fascial network. It's kind of like jumping into a hammock and letting go. And the hammock takes all the support. She reshapes itself to accommodate you. And that is how I see my fascial system. When I let go into it, it reshapes itself. Let's take 3 full deep breaths here together. To come out of this, if you have no issues with your shoulders, you could just leave everything here as it is and let that leg go. And soften the body back to center, straighten the right leg out. Take a breath in. As you exhale, sweep your hands around, slide your left knee into your chest, pull it in deeply. Breathe in. As you exhale, bring your right knee into your chest. If you were using a pillow on the other side and you think you might enjoy it on this side, move it to the right side. Open your arms out right and left. And then just drop the knees over to the right, to the left, and the next time they come to the right, we're doing the other side. Drop them over. Notice if you need a pillow underneath them. Also notice if you would like to have your knees lower. Do you want to target more of the lower back, the hip area, or do you want to come into more of your waist? What part of your back needs this today? You could let your right hand drop onto your knees. And if you want a little bit more sensation through the left arm and pectoral muscle connection here, bend at the left elbow and also roll the head side to side to find where you need to be. Take 3 more full breaths, yeah? And then straighten the right leg, leave the left knee bent, snuggle your right hip underneath you. You could loop your left foot over your right leg if that's comfortable for you. And again, notice where you feel more sensation. You have your knee further down, further up. There's no right or wrong. This is completely exploratory. Kind of like going caving. You're in the dark and you just follow the little cracks of light that you find, or the breeze. Breathe the softness into the body. Can you become completely melted? Can you still feel your ribcage moving as you breathe? Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then stretching out the left leg either onto a pillow or holding on with your hand. And if this doesn't feel as much of a good stretch as the previous one or the other pose, please feel free to go back to what worked for you. Let's take 3 full breaths together. Letting go of that leg, letting your head roll to the right side. Bringing yourself back through center. Whew. Breathing in, breathing out. So now is famous Shavasana time, which means a bit of relaxation. Perhaps you would like to put a couple of pillows underneath your legs. If you've got a few pillows, something under your knees, something under your feet would be great. And we'll be here for about 3 minutes. I'm going to turn the music off. Just settle yourselves in. And I will ring the bell when it's time to come up. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Hi Nancy. So just coming into your relaxation, I see that I've gone a couple of minutes over and I do apologize. I'll ring the bell in about 2 minutes now, so that we can finish our practice together. Saying hello to your inhalation and saying hello to your exhalation. Breathing in. I am a beautiful, handsome flower. Breathing out. I feel fresh. Breathing in. I am vibrantly alive, part of this earth made up of sun, water, air, and earth. And as I breathe out, I feel fresh. And as you breathe in this time, maybe giving yourself a big stretch, a big yawn. And if you don't yawn, probably the first time, give it another go. It's a really good fascial release. And then as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest, give your body a hug. And no matter how you're feeling about your health, just tell your body how grateful you are that you have a healthy, happy body. That's one body for life that allows us to do yoga, go swimming in the ocean, ski down mountains. So much to be grateful for. And then when you're ready, rolling around to sitting, and we'll end our practice with one arm. Thank you again so much for joining me today. It's just so lovely to see so many names that I haven't seen for a long time.